I used to think leverage meant doing less, working fewer hours, automating more, finding some clever shortcut that multiplied output without multiplying effort. That's how most of us define it at first. But that version of leverage never really lasted. It reduced activity, maybe. It made things smoother for a while. But it didn't change how income behaved. And that's when I started realizing something uncomfortable. Real leverage doesn't reduce effort, it changes where effort lives. Early income is effort dependent. If you stop, it stops. If you push harder, it rises. That feels empowering because it's direct. You know exactly what lever you're pulling. But direct leverage is fragile. It works until your time fills up, until your energy drops, until your attention splits. Then the math stops scaling. I remember hitting that ceiling. Not because income collapsed, it didn't. It just stopped accelerating. More hours produced less lift. More output created less response. And the instinct was obvious: optimize myself. Better routines. Better focus. Better systems for productivity. None of that solved the real issue. Because the problem wasn't my efficiency. It was that my income still depended on my presence. If your income requires your constant presence, you don't have leverage, you have momentum. Momentum feels powerful. It feels like growth. But it's temporary. The second you stop pushing, it fades. Leverage is different. Leverage means something continues to work after you've moved on. A decision that keeps paying. A path that keeps guiding. A structure that keeps converting. And here's the part that changed everything for me. Leverage doesn't come from adding tools. It comes from removing repetition. Every time you repeat the same explanation, you're burning leverage. Every time you manually solve the same issue, you're burning leverage. Every time income requires you to re-earn trust from scratch, you're burning leverage. Real leverage shows up when the system remembers for you, when the message clarifies itself, when buyers arrive prepared, when your past work continues shaping today's income. Leverage is stored effort that keeps working without supervision. And that's why it's hard to build. Because it requires restraint. Restraint from constantly changing direction. Restraint from chasing new tactics. Restraint from interrupting patterns before they mature. I didn't see that at first. I kept redesigning things that were starting to stabilize. I mistook calm for stagnation. I introduced novelty because it felt productive. What I didn't realize was that leverage compounds only when the structure is allowed to finish learning. The moment you constantly reset the system, you reset leverage. And that's why real leverage feels slow at the beginning. It doesn't look dramatic. It looks boring, predictable, almost uneventful. But boring income is often leveraged income because it means the system isn't reacting emotionally to every condition. It's responding consistently. Real leverage shows up when income stops depending on how you feel that day. That's when something changes internally. You stop thinking about how much you can do. You start thinking about what will remain after you're done. That shift is subtle but powerful. Builders chase upside. Operators protect continuity. Owners build leverage. And leverage isn't a trick. It's a consequence of design. Design that reduces single points of failure. Design that shortens the path from attention to trust. Design that turns effort into assets instead of transactions. Once that clicked for me, the way I approached income changed completely. Instead of asking, "How can I earn more this month?" I started asking, "What can I build this month that earns next month too?" That question changes behavior. It slows you down in the right places. It forces you to think about durability. It makes you prioritize what persists over what performs. Because performance is temporary, persistence is leveraged. If effort disappears when you stop applying it, it was never leverage. This is also why leverage feels uncomfortable to build. It delays gratification. You put effort into something that may not pay immediately. You clarify systems that won't show impact for weeks. You refine processes that don't produce applause. But when it works, something remarkable happens. Income stabilizes. Recovery shortens. Variability reduces. And over time, income begins to rise without corresponding increases in pressure. That's leverage. Not freedom from work. Freedom from fragility. And fragility is the real enemy of income growth. Because fragile income can't compound. Fragile income can't scale safely. Fragile income forces you back into effort every time conditions change. Leverage removes fragility. It doesn't eliminate work. It makes work cumulative. That's the difference. Real leverage is what turns effort into something that keeps earning after you've stopped touching it. And once you feel that shift even a little, you stop chasing hacks. You start designing. You stop asking how to go faster. You start asking what will still be standing in a year. That's where leverage actually comes from. Not from speed. Not from shortcuts. But from structures that remember. And once income begins to remember, effort finally starts to compound instead of evaporate.